So, like, I've been thinking a lot about just a lot of different things. And I've been thinking a lot about the world. It just seems like there's so much absurdity in the world. Like, I turn on Sports Center or First Take, and I'm like wanting to watch about the Carmelo Anthony trade, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm listening to people talk from, on the news, or I'm watching people interact on social media, and I'm just like, man, there's just the world is crazy. Like it is just crazy right now. And what's fascinating to me, and again, completely apart from that issue, I'm not commenting on that issue at all, because I think that the issue is lost in dysfunction right now. And I'm more interested in the dysfunction of the ability for people to really like just talk and think critically. And I'm perplexed as a theologian as I watch people, and they say things and they say they believe things, and then watch in the next moment how they might act or what their position is on something else. And it reminds me so much of people are I think that in our country a lot of people know God, or know about God, know about Christ. And I think a lot of people in our country, a lot of people certainly don't consider them followers or consider themselves Christians, but a lot of people do. And the further you go down south in the country, the more people that consider themselves Christians. But what's fascinating to me is I think a lot of people know Christ in the head. Like they just know him and know about him, know what they've been taught, and they know what you're supposed to say. Maybe they know what they think a Christian is supposed to do and how one's supposed to act. But the Lord John tells us in 1 John that we are to come to know him. Like we have to come to know him. And he uses the word gnosko as like it's an experience. He uses words like little born ones, that there's a new shift in our thinking. And in me, it's going from what I know about him in my head and making the journey from my head to my heart. Like from your head to your heart is a very small, short distance, but it makes a major difference in your life. And sometimes I see the way people are acting and functioning in society. Like I just have to scratch my head and go, man, what? Like, have they taken the journey from the head to the heart? Like, do they know the Lord the way that we're supposed to know the Lord? And so I don't know. Like I like look at our country and I don't go, man. I don't think that. I realize that there's racial injustice. I get that. I realize that there are problems in the world. I realize like the president is like he does things. I'm like, why did you say that? And I'm like scratching my head as to why he says that. But here's the thing: is I don't think that the resolution for the problems and the things that are happening in the world is in government. I don't think it's in sports. I don't think it's in who's leading the country at any given time. I think it's all about the journey from the head to the heart with the individual. I think it's about a person, like the person who's sitting there listening to me right now and not going, okay, here's the problem that I have with Jimmy. It's like, what is Jimmy saying? Jimmy's saying, look, man, the world is broken. The only resolution for the brokenness is Christ. And the only way to have him in us is to go from the head to the heart and make sure we've taken the journey. And if we haven't done that, then we're part of the problem. We're part of the things like spiraling out of control. But when we take that journey from the head to the heart and then we know the Lord, then we're part of the resolution. Because Jesus said, I'm going to restore all things. And so the first step in the restoration is a restoration of the heart of man. And then from that, when he returns, He will restore all things. Like, he will restore all the injustices in the world, not between races only, but between like nature. Like, there's injustice in nature. And so I'm looking forward to the return of Christ and when all of that is set aright. But in the meantime, as a follower of the Lord, like, I have an obligation to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And the best thing that I can do for my country, the best thing I can do for my family, the best thing I can do for mankind is making sure that I'm keeping myself in an intimate place with the Lord and I'm walking with Jesus. Because as I walk with him, I will treat the people around me the way they're supposed to be treated. I don't know if this is encouraging to you or not, but like, for me, it's kind of helpful to talk through and get it off my chest, and some of the things I'm thinking about, and just looking at the world and going, yeah, man, the world is jacked up. And it can make you feel like, man, it's making me anxious. But I just have to step back and go, okay, what are the jacked up parts about my life that need attention? And that makes the world a better place. I hope you have a great week, and I can't wait to share with you next time.